try to at least start down the road of styling this thing. Let's at least try to get sidebar and chat to be side by side instead of one on top of the other, because that's how they're supposed to be, right? Sidebar over here, chat over here. Let's at least try to get them side by side instead of one on top of the other. So you'll notice in app component, we import a style sheet. You can totally do that. You can just import style sheets. You don't import something from them. You just import them. And the way that Create React App is configured out of the box, that'll just work. There's some plugins there that handle that. So there's nothing magic about this that ties app.css to app.js, though. They're still totally global styles. So styles that we put inside app.js can totally impact other components. Now everything is going to be a child of app anyway, so maybe that's desirable. But if we did it in main, anything we put in here, if we just imported a style sheet, would still impact the entire app. But there are tricks we can use to scope our styles just to this component. And it's a whole thing that is somewhat hotly contested. There are lots of opinions about this, lots of blog posts. Some of those blog posts will be in the notes for today. But basically, you can do your CSS in JavaScript. Instead of using a separate style sheet, put your styles in JavaScript. And there are several ways of doing it, and we will look at 2 of them in this class. First, we're going to do the simplest way, which is to use a style prop. So what we can do is just after our component, let's just make a new variable called styles, and it'll just be a JavaScript object. And we'll just put all our style rules right here. So we're using JavaScript now, not CSS. So these are the JavaScript property names, not the CSS property names, which just means that they are camel-cased instead of using dashes, right? So font family becomes font dash family in CSS becomes font family like that. The same as if you did it through a JavaScript style property in normal JavaScript. So we'll just write our styles that way. It also means no semicolons, right? We'll have commas at the end because it's an object. And our values will probably need to be strings unless they are numbers. But they can't just be bare words. So in this case, the first thing I want to do is use flexbox. So I'll say display. Now in CSS, that would just be flex like this. But that would be looking for a variable called flex, which doesn't exist. So in JavaScript, that is the string flex. So I'll just say display flex. Okay, nothing happened yet, because we're not doing anything with this. So up on the div, class name main, we just add a prop called style, and then we just set that to this styles object. And since that's not a string, we need curly braces, not quotes. So just put that styles object inside the curly braces. So it's style equals styles. And there's nothing magic about the name styles. It's just kind of conventional. That's just a variable name. It could be anything. And just like that, they're side by side. We'll put a couple more styles in here, though. This is a flexbox thing. I'll say align items stretch. Remember that out there on CSS Tricks, there is a complete guide to Flexbox. Tells you all kinds of good stuff. This will show you, let's see here, flex, justify content, align items, stretch. So what that'll do is it'll make every child of main, in this case just sidebar and chat, fill the entire height. So they'll be as tall as their container. So I just need to make main fill the entire height. So I'll actually set an explicit height on it to 100% of the viewport height, 100 VH. VH is a percentage of the height of the window. So I say 100 VH, and that fills the entire thing. And I like to put my trailing comma there. Yeah?
Would like 100% work in this case
No. And 100% is the width of its container. It does not work on height. Or it will, I mean, it'll work on height, but it'll just make the height 100% of the width. I think. It definitely doesn't do what you want. I put 100%. Let's see, what does it do? Let's see if we can find it here. Here's app, here's main. Yeah, main is not tall at all. So 100 viewport height. And main fills the whole thing. So don't forget about your React dev tools. As usual, if you call us over and ask us for help and you don't have your dev tools open at all, we will smack our foreheads because there could be an error message that you're not seeing. So always keep your dev tools open when you're developing. In this case, we can see all our components here. We can see their props and their style. Oh, there we go. I see style here. That's pretty cool. Okay, we don't have anything to do with that. Just wanted to remind you that it's there. And we've added a little style. All we've really accomplished is now sidebar and chat are side by side, and they fill the height of the window, which are things that we wanted to happen. So, style main. I don't know that main itself really needs a whole lot more than that. Yeah.
Why aren't we setting the font in this?
We already set it on the whole body, so it'll still work. Yeah.
You getting an error message on a line that doesn't exist?
Sweet.